William Shatner has said he is seriously considering returning to Star Trek. Welcome to the Tachyon Pulse podcast.
Our tachyon pulse has been unable to completely penetrate the anomaly.
Okay, so at the Vancouver Fan Expo, William Shatner was being interviewed, and he was talking about how he has been invited back to Star Trek to appear as James T Kirk several times. But if he was going to do that, there would have to be something really special. And that he has been recently approached to appear in a Star Trek series that is currently in development, and that he was so impressed by the writer, he's considering it. He basically said, look, as soon as I'm done with Vancouver and the expo, we can talk. So, for the first time since Star Trek Generations, we might actually get the real James T Kirk standing up. Now, I've got nothing against Paul Wesley appearing in Strange New Worlds as Commander Kirk. I'm lying, I do. The problem I've got with it is I don't particularly like him. I don't think he's very charismatic, even though one or two episodes where he has had more prominent role, I think he was at the second or third episode in season 2, I did like him. I thought he came across really well, to be fair. But I don't like how this is sort of stepping on canon a little bit, whereas Kirk is spending an awful lot of time on the Enterprise, and he's going to again in season 3 apparently. So I don't think that's kind of right, because from Menagerie in the original series, Kirk's not supposed to know Pike, so it just seems a bit odd, but it's fine. I've got nothing against Chris Pine and his version of Captain Kirk on the J.J. Abrams Star Treks, but I don't really consider those to be Star Trek if I'm honest, but actually his portrayal was pretty good. Different. But William Shatner, he is James T Kirk. And he is freaking amazing. I obviously fell in love with James T Kirk. I then loved T.J. Hooker. But when I really fell in love with our Bill was when he appeared as Denny Crane in Boston Legal. He's brilliant in that. If you've never watched Boston Legal, please do. It's one of those shows I binge every couple of years. James Spade is in it as well. He's also amazing. It's a political courtroom drama, but it's very funny, and we should all have our own flamingo. If you know, you know. So what do I think about him reappearing in Star Trek, and what show does he basically mean that's in development? The only show that we know is classed as in development is the sitcom. Notice I said that quite slowly because, dear God, as it stands right now, Star Trek is going through a little bit of a transition period because basically Paramount is. They have new owners. We've talked several times on this channel about what those new owners and Skydance plan to do with Paramount, and that they may not be particularly happy with the way Star Trek has been handled by Secret Hideout in the last few years, and there is a distinct possibility that when Secret Hideout's contract runs out in the middle of next year, that it might not be renewed. Until the new owners are in, though, no major project is going to be greenlit by Paramount. So Star Trek, they're just waiting. So they're developing things, but nothing is greenlit. The new owners haven't got their feet under the table just yet. But we do know that they've had this idea of a sitcom show in development for quite a while. Now, unless there's another show that we don't know about, we can only think that that's the show they're talking about. Now, I would have loved it if James T Kirk had returned for maybe, I don't know, Picard season 3 or something, because there was that little bit of an Easter egg that suggested that they had his body at the Daystrom Institute. It did seem to be leaning towards that they might have made some sort of cameo. If they're going to do some sort of sitcom, which they're trying to over at Secret Hideout, then Bill Shatner here might be talking about a cameo. Some sort of just appearance in one episode where he would play James T Kirk, but it would be done in a comedic way. To be honest, that's probably the only way we're going to get this. And we're not going to get James T Kirk appearing in some sort of major serious show because the character is dead. Very dead. Died twice. Obviously, his body or his consciousness is technically in the Nexus. So maybe that's how they're going to bring Kirk back for an episode. I think it's more likely it's going to be some sort of hologram or something like that. But really, as it's going to be as part of a comedic show, probably, we don't know yet, obviously, but probably, then I think they could really do anything and get away with it. I say get away with it. Nothing about a sitcom Star Trek show appeals to me. I cannot believe they're even thinking about it, and I really just hope Skydance come in and go, you want to do what now? No. Why? Because that's a stupid idea. Now, we've already kind of had a Star Trek sitcom, but it was animated. So, that's okay. Because even though, for me, it's in canon, it's always different to the rest of Star Trek because it was animated, and obviously I'm talking about Lower Decks. That was basically a sitcom. And I loved it. I adored it. But if it's live action, which this sitcom idea is planned to be, that makes it firmly in canon. There's no excuse for the silliness, if that makes sense. So, yeah. I just hope Skydance come in and just poo-poo the idea immediately. Perhaps there is another show that Secret Hideout are developing that we don't know about. Again, Kirk would have to come back in some sort of hologram or something like that way, or a time travel thing or something. Or maybe it's something that is in the J.J. Abrams universe, and they just basically say he didn't die on the Enterprise B. And it's some sort of flash forward. The two are, him as an older man. Whatever it is they're planning, the writer has obviously pitched it to Bill Shatner, and he thinks it's a good idea. And to be honest, how is he still alive, William Shatner, by the way? Just so I have to think. He smokes, he drinks. He's always been pretty big, so he must eat whatever the hell he likes. How is he still alive? He's an old man. But not even just how is he still alive, how is he still as active and going up in spaceships? It just astounds me, honestly. He astounds me. The man is a legend. But I forgot what I was going to say then, because I don't know how he's still alive. But whatever the plan is for this Star Trek show that he's been approached for and pitched to and he's going to talk to, I don't really care. I would love to see him on screen again as James T Kirk. I would almost accept the sitcom idea and greenlight the sitcom idea if I had that power, just to see William Shatner as James T Kirk one more time. Almost. Not quite. I'd prefer another option if there was one. But guys, get into the comments to tell me what you think. The return of William Shatner as James T Kirk? Is this madness? Or is it something you'd really love to see just one more time? I would. Get into the comments and tell me exactly what you think. If you are new to the channel, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. It really helps us out and you'll never miss any of our new videos. Also, you can join the channel and become a member and get to see the videos up to 24 hours before everybody else. As always, please stay safe and I'll see you next time.
Our tachyon pulse has been unable to completely penetrate the anomaly.